yeah, so I planned my full new habits, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna wait until my motivation kicks in and then I will start doing them, you know? No, no, that is not how it works here. You cannot rely on your motivation, and I think we both know that. So let's show you how to start with your new habits and with your new routines and with your system, so that you don't have to rely on your motivation. You can not come for days and weeks, and you really want to pass out of all of these moments that you could get a better version just because your motivation isn't there. No, this is not how it works here. I'm gonna show you how we will do that. The first thing I recommend you is to use morning and evening routines, truly. Because every day you wake up and you go to sleep, probably. And that is very good points to rely on to plan your new routines, and in the end, routines are just habits you kind of stack together. Which makes it even easier, because if you start your routine and you have like 5 habits in this one routine, you can like achieve so many habits in one point. And if you do these every day, in the morning and the evening, you can stack together so many habits that over the day, you like don't even have to do that much anymore for all of the habits that you have. And that is exactly what we're going for. We want to make it as easy as possible so you will not find an excuse to not do your habits. Morning and evening routines are for that really the best. And if you already have an existing one, you can just implement the new habits into that one and jackpot, it's gonna be so much easier because you already know what to do. Otherwise, try to implement one, try to find out, okay, what are things that probably I can do in the morning? What are the habits that I have can I probably do in the morning? For example, like, yeah, I want to read in the morning, I want to meditate in the morning, I want to do sport in the morning. You can also try out, you know, and see what feels better in the morning, what feels better in the afternoon. Probably doesn't fit in both, you know. And with that, you can create a routine, a morning routine. And I can tell you, if you have a morning routine and you follow it, you're gonna feel already so productive in that 1-2 hours that you had in the morning. And you feel like you have already achieved so much. Like, feels just so good. And if you're more the type of girl who's be like, yeah, I'm gonna wake up like 5 minutes before I have to go, have a stress, and then go, well, how do I say that? But that is probably not really the right way to do it. Like, the morning is a very productive time. You just got rest. Your mind is fresh, and hopefully you got enough sleep because you look for your sleep schedule. And with that, you have the perfect like line to really do something in the morning and achieve some stuff and do some stuff, which just in general really feels very good because you already did something. So if it is possible and if you think you can manage, so try to really put in the time in the morning, even if it's only an hour. Better, more the better, like 1-2 is very good, 1-2 hours. But yeah, try to implement a new morning routine and try it out. And the same is for the evening. It is very good to kind of wind down in the evening, and you know, also make sure that you probably don't scroll on social media, because then it's gonna be hard to sleep or like have a good sleep. And that's why in the evening there are so many good things. So for example, I love to meditate in the evening. So around that I built a whole evening routine. So with all of the habits and systems and routines that you have, try to put not as many, but as many as you feel comfortable and feel like good to put in your morning and in your evening routine. Try out different things. What do you like more in the morning routine? What do you like more in the evening routine? And then you will see how many habits you already will have out of your eyes and out of your mind, just because you put them in the morning or in your evening routine. Now, of course, not every day is the same. And there's probably days you wake up and you just feel like a car drove over you and you don't want to do. Or you woke up and you feel kind of sick or not as much energy as you normally have, and it is normal. And that is why we create different routines depending of how you feel. Okay? So of course you cannot just come every day and be like, yeah, I don't feel good, I'm gonna do the easiest way of my routine. In the end, it's your goals you want to achieve, so I do hope you will get the motivation to do that. So I set normally routines for when I stay at home. So I have a longer one where I do the gym in the morning and not in the evening, because I don't go out and go to the gym. I also then have one where I go out and work, which also I also change like when I wake up, you know, so I kind of have more or less time. And then I have one for the weekend, and I have one where I just kind of have like a low energy day and I don't really want to do anything. And I still do a small part of my routine. Yeah, and I can really recommend that because, you know, sometimes you just don't feel your best, and then it can really help to have kind of like a different routine that is more fitting to your feeling. You still feel like you achieved something because you did your routine. And as I cannot say enough, of course habits and goals are very important to do them as consistently as possible, but there's nothing wrong with taking a day off if you don't feel good or if you just feel kind of tired and exhausted from a long working day before. Just look that it doesn't get a habit to skip those things. So once is fine, but as soon as you start to just kind of getting comfortable because, yeah, you know, like don't really feel like doing it, then that's wrong. Then you should look. Then you should like put your stuff together and do the things again, because that is not what these easier kind of resting days are for. It's when you really just truly feel rest and not when it's more comfortable to do them. Now, I do think in the beginning, if you have some new habits, a habit tracker can very help. I use the one from Me, it's an app. It is probably like every other habit tracker because in the end they're kind of all the same. I just like that they have like streaks, and that really keep me sometimes going because like, oh my god, I have like a streak from so many days. I do have to say, at the other side, it can get kind of toxic because like then you just feel more and more that you have to do it, and it gets more like this hustle culture that I don't think we really want to be in. So yeah, you have to find something on your else. I do in general like the app, so in the beginning, like in January, February, and I probably will use it again for my new habits. It is very good, so you kind of, you know, you kind of do them every day, and you make sure that you do them every day and that you don't forget them or that you skip them. So important is that all of your habits or routines or systems have a place in your everyday life or in your week or your months and your year. So this is also kind of part of my planning. So it's a lot of planning, but yeah, like make sure that every habit has a place in your schedule. So in your routines, for example, there can be a lot of habits, but otherwise look at, like when everything goes normal, of course, we all depend, like of course every week is different. When everything goes normal, I want that I do this habit on that and that time at that and that place. Because that helps you to, your mind to realize and accept that that is the time that I'm going to do that habit. And over time it's going to get so much easier to do that habit then, because you said you will do it, and the more you do it and that time at that place, the more and the easier it will get to actually do it then. And it's also just important that you don't forget any habits or systems or things that you want to do. So when you plan your new week or your new month or your, I don't know what, your new place that you go travel to, look that you have the things ready so you don't forget to actually put them to action. So because it do can happen, you know, if you have a lot of habits that you want to implement, then it do can, yeah, you just forget them. And if you have them just on a place, every habit that you want to do, like probably your weekly habits, your daily habits, your monthly habits, or just other things. So when you always then can go and look there, it is a very rare chance that you forget to plan something into your week or whatever. Then it's a very big chance that you will actually do it in the end, if it's planned in. Another very important thing, which I really learned, is that you should try to put the frictions to your habits or your routines as low as possible. So for example, if I do gym in the morning, I will not first put on some other clothing, I'll instantly put on my gym clothing, so I'm already full outfit ready, you know, like I can already start. And there's so many things that you couldn't do that way, so like you try the friction that you have to do something new, you make it as low as possible. So yeah, your whole room and your whole environment is ready for you to do the actual good things, and makes it harder to do all of the bad habits that you don't really want to do. So that can, for example, also be that you put your phone in another room, because the friction of just going and grab your phone and check some messages just got so much bigger, because you would have to stand up and walk out of the room. So always think, how can I make it as easy as possible to do the thing and as hard as possible to not do the thing? Because of course there's gonna be days where you're probably not as motivated and you don't really see the reason why to do it, and it is that days where you prove to yourself that you got the discipline and that you can achieve and do all of these habits that you want to do. It is really you show yourself how much you're capable of in the hard times, in times where you don't want to do it and then you still do it. that feeling is so crazy good. So really, as even though you don't really want to do a thing, if you manage to actually do it, you feel double as good. I can promise you that. But for that, you need a lot of good tricks to that you actually do it. And of course, it needs some discipline. It truly does. So as I talked about your environment, I also mean your room or your apartment or wherever you live in. Make it that it's so easy for you to do all the things. Like, of course, if you have a super big TV like right at your sofa and the book that you want to read is super far away in another room, you make it yourself very hard. Like, you don't have to do that. You can make it so much easier to yourself. So really look that your environment matches with the things that you want to do. So what also can help is to kind of find other people that help you and kind of push you. And in the end, it's just so important that you don't forget why to do it. Because in the end, even though in some situations it's gonna be like, oh my god, like, nah, I just do not want to do it. You, in the end, do it for yourself because you set that goal because you want to achieve that goal. Like, you're not doing stuff against yourself, but sometimes it just kind of feel like that, and that's normal. And then it's good time to just kind of like review all of your goals and probably look at your vision board or so. So you really feel like, ah, yes, wait, that is why I do that. Yes, probably you don't feel as much more motivated, but a little bit it can help, I would say. Okay, and now some really important things to understand. Every time I'm about to spend another hour on scrolling social media, because like, it's easy, you know? All of the bad habits are so much easier because society make them up so easy. And the kind of like good habits, they're most of the time so much harder to achieve, and that's why so many people don't do it. But that is a random side fact. So every time I want to do something that is not really good for me, and deep down I will always know, actually, you shouldn't do this, you know? Like, actually, that is not you, that is not what you stand for, that is not how you want to spend your next time, your next hour doing that. But it's the easier choice most of the time. And then I really try, and don't say it always works, and I always can bring myself to even think about it. But I really try to think about, okay, what would my best version do now? And of course she wouldn't do the bad thing, and she would just do the good thing, like doing some work or making some videos, you know? So really try to let your mind connect with your best version of yourself and realize, oh my god, like, if I do that now, I'm gonna hurt her so much. Because when I continue doing stuff like that, I will never be able to get to her. Because every decision, even if it's subconsciously that you do them, will lead you towards your best version or further away from her. Every single decision, every choice that you make throughout the day can bring you to a new place in the evening that you would have been with another choice that you did. So in the end, every day could be the perfect day. It could be you achieve everything that you want, you do all of your habits. And the only person that can choose that and can make the right choices is you. Like, truly understand that. You have everything in your hand to do that. You have everything in your hand to get her, as long as you make the right choices. Because in the choices, you really show in action, will I get to her or will I not? And that is why you can also use tactics to make it easier to make those right choices towards your best version of yourself. There's nothing wrong with kind of tricking yourself, and it's also normal to sometimes just don't want to, as I already told you. You know, it's not about hating on yourself that you didn't have the perfect days and didn't have to do all of the right things. It's just about understanding how much power you and your choices have over your life and over where you're gonna be in some years. Yeah, and with that, I would say implement all of those things, try it out, find your way, and see you the next time where we will do a vision board together, and I'm so hyped for that. So probably you wanna watch. Bye bye!